What's going on? Welcome to the 2021 edition of the Off the Schneid preview series, where I'll be going over all 32 NFL teams, breaking down their roster, schedule, giving you a record prediction, as well as helping out with some betting tips. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button, and if you like what you hear, go ahead and smash that like button as well. Don't forget to check the description for links for the Off the Schneid social media and interact with me directly. I want to give a massive shout out to OurLads Scouting Services and OurLads.com, as all roster and depth chart graphics are straight off their site. If you've never been, go check them out immediately. I use their site for all NFL, fantasy, and betting purposes, and there's a link in the description for their site. Again, do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button, but enough of that, let's get to your favorite NFL football preview. All right, we're taking a look at the Detroit Lions. We will start at quarterback, and we got Jared Goff, obviously in a trade for Matthew Stafford. The only team he ever knew was the Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford comes in along with 2 first-round picks, which is going to play a big role, I think, which we will kind of get to. Realistically, I think that, like it or not, the Lions are going to be stuck with him for 2 seasons. Whether he is the starter or not, we will see. This year, he's obviously 100% the starter, no question there. After this season, you can get off of Goff, I guess is more what I'm saying. If they trade him Actually, realistically, you can't get off Goff, if I'm being honest, because you can't trade him after the draft. It just wouldn't make any sense. But if you do, it's only $5 million, in dead cap after the draft. If they trade him before the draft, I guess they could. It's $15 million. They would save $15 million if they trade him before the draft. I don't think it's any secret, and I don't think any Lions fans are going to be upset with me. The Lions are going to be a bad team this year. That is what it is. So this draft pick from the Rams that comes in is going to play a huge role in this franchise, I think. They're going to be a bad team, so their own pick is going to be quite high. I think the Rams are going to be a good team, so their pick is going to be quite low. So if you see a quarterback there, which there probably will be because there obviously is every single year. So obviously there will be some quarterbacks there for them to think about. They're going to be a top 5 pick. So do you draft your quarterback there or do you wait? I don't know. We're going to have to see. And that's a long ways away. So I'm not even really thinking about it quite yet, but it's going to play a role. Do you trade up? You got that extra first round pick and an extra one next year. Sorry, the year after, 2023, you got another first round pick in that Stafford trade. So, it's 100% this year, but do you roll out Jared Goff again next season? I don't know. Either way, after 2 seasons, maximum. He will maximum be on this team for 2 years. We'll see what they do after that, and it's 1,000,000% that they're going to draft a guy to be the quarterback of the future. It's not going to be Jared Goff, even though he's only 26 years old right now. But there you go. We'll move to the running back position. New offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn, obviously a former running back in the NFL, former head coach for the LA Chargers. DeAndre Swift is there. Very, very good, very big potential that he has a very good season this year. We'll see. There's a lot of talk coming out of, Lions camp that they're going to use a 2-headed backfield type of a thing, which I actually kind of think that they end up doing, but I'll get there in a second here. Jamal Williams comes over from the Green Bay Packers. He's a very good running back, very, very quality backup, and, potential guy that if you had to in a pinch or an injury, you can absolutely rely on him, I think. Jamar Jefferson was their 7th round pick. I think he's very good for a 7th round pick. I think he's absolutely the number 3 guy here. And he'll get a ton of reps in the preseason, so we'll see what he's got there. Move over to tight end. Realistically, it's just Jared Goff. Darren Fells comes in from the Houston Texans. Sure, he's a good quality veteran backup guy to have in there and 2 tight end sets type of thing. Quality veteran to bring in, absolutely. But TJ Hawkinson is the number 1 weapon in the passing game on this team without a doubt, and it's not even close in my opinion. Talk about the other weapons, I suppose. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4th round pick. I think he's the best wide receiver on this team right now. I think he starts right away in the slot. and he's going to be fantasy relevant for sure. You can check what I projected him to do in my rookie mock draft there. Rashad Perriman, still a field stretcher, I suppose. Good quality vet to have, but he's not going to be the future of this team whatsoever. Tyrell Williams is going to be, I don't know, we'll see if he can stay healthy. It's been a struggle for him in his entire career so far. We'll see what he does. Again, another guy that I don't expect to be on this team very long. Khalif Raymond comes in for the Titans. Maybe he's there as a depth piece. He's probably going to be the return guy on this team. Kicks and punts, I would imagine. Quintez Cephas is there, and realistically, you might as well give the guy some run this year. You might as well. See what you got with them and kind of take it from there. And then it's just a bunch of guys that are going to play in the preseason, see who makes the team, and whatever happens, happens. We'll move to the offensive line before I talk about this team as a whole and what my opinion of how their offense will look. So their offensive line, Taylor Decker, fantastic. Jonah Jackson, I think is fantastic. Frank Ragnow, I think is fantastic. Penei Sewell, I think is fantastic. This is a sneaky, really, really, really good offensive line, in my opinion. Vaitai, Tyrell Crosby, even Dan Skipper, they got some depth there. Logan Stenberg, I'm not sure who's going to end up starting at right guard. Maybe it's Vaitai, maybe it's Tyrell Crosby, maybe it's Logan Stenberg. I'm not concerned regardless of who it is. This is a very, very good line, and it's going to be in the future. This is something that they are going to build around. DeAndre Swift, the running game, and their offensive line. And TJ Hawkinson. So how do I think that this offense is going to look realistically? Like if I'm the Detroit Lions, and if I'm Dan Campbell, and if I'm Anthony Lynn, and Aaron Glenn, the new defensive coordinator, comes with Dan Campbell from the Saints, I'm just trying to stay in games as long as possible. is kind of realistically where I'm at. If I'm the coaching staff, I'm going to run the crap out of the ball and chip away at the clock, try to clock manage, try to, play a possession game realistically. So I'm going to run the ball with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams and Jamar Jefferson, dump it to TJ Hawkinson over the middle, Amon-Ra St. Brown over the middle, slot guy, tight end. Those guys are going to eat, I think. Even dump it off to your running backs if you have to. That sort of thing. First downs, play action, we'll say that, and just control the clock. We're not expecting Jared Goff to come in here and be Matt Stafford and win this team games. Like, that's just not gonna happen. He's gonna be a game manager. So that's how I think this offense is gonna look. In fantasy, I'm looking at DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams as potential guys that I would draft in a redraft late, obviously, for Jamal Williams. But I think that there's enough room for a couple running backs to eat here. I think, with Anthony Lynn as the offensive coordinator, I think that that's going to, give those guys more value than it would have last year. Absolutely. I do think that DeAndre Swift probably gets over 1,000 yards for the first time in Detroit in God knows how long. But there you go. That's kind of how I feel this offense is going to run. Move to the defensive side of the ball. They just have tons of pieces. So if you're a Detroit Lions fan, don't take offense to this video, and look forward to the future, because I think it's going to be pretty bright. They got a lot of pieces, so we'll see. We'll start at the line. Levi Onwuzurike, I thought was a fantastic draft pick in the second round. Aleem McNeil, I didn't particularly love, but he's going to be a guy for the future, absolutely. Jason Cornell, he was a seventh round pick last year. I'm not sure if he ends up being on this team for too long, but we'll see. Deshaun Hand, I think, can probably move inside as well. Trey Flowers is still there. Romeo Okwara is very, very good. To be honest, I was fairly shocked that he came back to this team. I think a big part of it was them drafting his brother Julian, and that is a big reason why he came back. I think realistically he could have had same or similar money somewhere else and a better shot to win right away. But I think that was a big thing. I really, really do. Third round pick last year, Julian Okwara. Austin Bryant's there. I don't know if I said Trey Flowers, but he's there. John Pinacini, sixth round pick, last year. So they got a lot of pieces there, especially Okwara, I really like. And, you know, Trey Flowers, I think they'll end up moving on from him. I think he came over with Matt Patricia, and that was part of the, you know, him building out his defense. Same with Jamie Collins, but Jamie Collins is just getting up there. It's not that he's a bad player, because he's a very good player, actually. And, you know, Trey Flowers is okay as well. But either way, I think they just have a lot of good pieces, and we'll move back. Their linebackers are in a bit of a tough spot. Jamie Collins is still okay. He can get the job done. Alex Anzalone comes in. He can get the job done. But other than that, like, realistically, they're going to need some help. Jelani Tavai, I'm not sure if I say that properly, but he could be a guy. He could absolutely be a guy. We'll see if he ends up being a guy. But the rain, like, it's going to have to get, you know, kind of passed down at some point from Jamie Collins. And because he's getting up there. He's getting up there. It is what it is. He's not going to be part of the future of this team. I really like what they have going on at the cornerback position. Obviously, Jeff Okuda and Oruware. Amani Oruware, I think, is very good. I really like the third-round pick, Melifonwu. I really, really like that pick. Quentin Dunbar comes in. He can get the job done. Corn Elder is there. Their safeties, you know, could maybe use some work, but Tracy Walker and Will Harris are there. That's okay. We'll see. They got a lot of pieces. They got a lot of good pieces, especially in that secondary and on the line. The linebackers might be in a bit of a tough spot, but they have some pieces for the future. So it's just patience. Just be patient with this team. And realistically, if I'm being honest, I don't think that the Lions are going to be a super fun team to watch this year. Like I said, I think they're just going to try to control the clock, run the ball, game manage, squeak out as many wins as you can, kind of a thing. I don't expect them to win a lot of games, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think that any Detroit Lions fan should take offense to this video. Why do I say that? We'll move over to their record prediction, and you'll see what I'm projecting them to win this year. All right, there you go. Low, high, my 3-14 is what I am projecting for the Lions. If they win 6 games, I think a lot of things go right. You know, they manage the game well. Jared Goff maybe steals them a game or 2. I just really don't think that there's much room to win a ton of games this year for the Lions. They're 23-1 on your money to win this division for a reason, because they are not going to win it. I'm sorry, but it's absolutely not going to happen. And realistically, if you're a Lions fan, you want to lose as many games as possible. I'm a Bengals fan. I've been there lots. You know, too often I've been there. So if you're a Lions fan, you want to lose as many games as possible. You want to be a competitive team, but you know, you don't want to be picking 12th. You really don't. It does nothing good for this franchise. You know, you'd potentially have to package those 2 first-round picks to move up in the top 3, much like the 49ers did, sort of like the 49ers did. You get what I'm getting at, to get your quarterback of the future. So you want to lose as many games as you can. And that's the reality of it. So we'll blow through the schedule here. I don't want to take up too much more of your time on this sort of a team. Start week 1 at home against the 49ers. I do not think that they can beat the 49ers. I just don't think they're close to being as good enough of a team to beat them, even at home. On the road against the Packers, not going to win that game. At home against the Ravens, not going to win that game. The Chicago game, like, these two teams, they're going to play some competitive games. There's some games on the schedule for the Lions where they're going to be competitive, and it's going to be a decent game, and they have a shot to win it. You know, against the Bears, I'm going to split it with the Bears because they're both going to be tough teams, I think, this year. But we'll home and home split with Chicago, so they take that loss. Very good potential. They start 0-5. Because they're not going to beat the Vikings on the road either, I don't think. 0-5, and then week 6 at home against the Bengals. That's going to be their best shot to get a win. Realistically, the Bengals, I think, are going to be better at passing the ball, especially by week 6, than they are running the ball. I'm not a massive believer in Joe Mixon. If you want to watch their video, go watch the Bengals video. But that's a game that they have a shot to win. Do I think they win that game? Honestly, I think my Bengals are a better team. I really, really do. I think overall, I think the Bengals are a better team than the Lions, and they can absolutely come into Detroit and get that win. On the road against the Rams, they are not going to beat the Rams on the road. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Revenge game too, not going to happen. At home against the Eagles, that's another one where they're going to compete. They're going to have a shot. I just think that the Eagles defense might be too good for this offense. And I do expect the Eagles to probably get that win. Bye week 9, honestly, with a team like this, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You just, you take your bye week, whatever. You're not making the playoffs. There's not a crazy amount of rookies that need, to catch their breath early. So it is what it is. That's fine. On the road against the Steelers, I think the Steelers get that win. I think it's sneaky, something like a game that they could be competitive in. Like I said, I feel like they're just going to try to hang on as long as they can. Hang on in as many games as long as you can. And if you're hanging around in the fourth quarter, anything can happen. And I think that that's going to be the mantra and, the narrative for the Detroit Lions this season is just hang on as long as you can, give yourself a shot, and see what happens, So that's it. And honestly, against the Steelers, I think it's possible in a game like that where if they can hang on, they could potentially surprise the Steelers. I wouldn't be shocked coming out of a bye. I wouldn't be crazy shocked if the Detroit Lions pulled off an upset there. So there you go. On the road against the Browns, not going to win that game. At home against Chicago, I'll give them that win against the Bears. I'll give them that win. At home against the Minnesota Vikings, I think the Vikings and the Packers sweep the Lions and the Bears. So there you go. On the road against Denver, I think Denver gets that win. That defense is too good. The offense is improving. I think they can do a lot of similar things, but I think that the Broncos can do them better is what it boils down to. At home against Arizona Cardinals, I think the Cardinals come in and get that win, even though they're weak against the pass. But what are the Lions not good at? Probably, most likely, throwing the ball. And they're not gonna be able to run against the Arizona Cardinals in that game, I don't think. So I think the Cardinals get that win. On the road against the Atlanta Falcons, that's another team that's very, very similar. I just think that, honestly, I think Atlanta wins that game because Matt Ryan's still there. Pitts is there, Ridley's there. They're going to be able to throw the ball, and I just do not think that the Lions can keep up in any sort of a shootout. And that's the only way that the Falcons are going to win games, in my opinion, this season. Go watch their video if you want to see it. And I do not think that the Lions can keep up in a shootout, and that's what I would expect that game to be, especially in Atlanta. On the road against the Seahawks get that win. At home against the Packers get that win. Tough season for the Lions. It is what it is. Like I said, you're going to want to lose as many games as you can. You're going to want as high of a draft pick as you can. And yeah, that's that. I think that, again, I do not think that any Lions fan should be upset with me, and hopefully they're not, but maybe. I'm expecting them to be one of the worst teams in the game, and I'm not the only one projecting that, I don't think. Haven't watched anyone else's stuff, but I don't think anyone's projecting them to be a very good team. So when it loses as many games as you can, progress everybody the way that you want them to go, and get the young guys playing time. I think the Lions can turn it around relatively quickly. They have some good pieces. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments. There's your breakdown for the 2021 Detroit Lions.